Welcome to the new weekly report. This is a week 26 of the progress of being self-taught developer on the Node.js, JavaScript, HTML and CSS using vanilla JavaScript and PostgreSQL. This is the current status where I share the details about my progress learning how to code in JavaScript and the current progress of the project I am currently building by learning, and that is self-taught developer website. You can see that here. On the right side it is Visual Studio Code, and here it is the current result, and this is the domain name, a website I am currently building. The current status is that this is the status of the website that is available online, which you can also visit by visiting here the website. And this is the local status of my code and also the project, which is not currently uploaded to the live website because it is currently I'm building still, and I have more details I would like to add before pushing it on the DigitalOcean Droplet. This website is located on the DigitalOcean Droplet, where I am using Linux with other server, with a web server, and I am using PostgreSQL database where I save all the details. Looking back from the previous 2 weeks, this is the progress I have made. Here on the self.developer.com website, it is a simple HTML website, which you can see there are no CSS still because I'm not currently working on this website. This will be a project later on as I move forward. But here what you can find is the current status by each day, what I am doing, what kind of problems I am experiencing, and what kind of a progress I am doing right now, and what is the idea for the next steps. I have created a little bit change on this website compared to the previous 2 weeks, and that is I have added here a link for the new website page, which is a last report here, which you can see it, and this is for the last 2 weeks. Before 2 weeks you will see all the details here below that, because I have not still divided the whole journey into several websites. This is something that I will do later on, so I will have for each of this report a new website page, so it will be easier, much easier to follow. And if you would like to have more details, you can also check the video on the YouTube channel, which you are currently looking at, where you have all the weekly reports. I'm making every 2 week a report because I have started with 1 week, but after that there was no too much changes, so I have divided that into 2 weeks. So for now it is a week 26, which means half year has passed, and this is the progress I have made. Here on the website you can see that I have a currency strength meter, which shows what is the current status of the strength of each of the currency symbols, which you can see here, and you can show it or turn it off. Below that it is a correlation chart, which shows you the Euro USD against the GBP USD correlation, so you can see how the price moves depending on the date. And below that it is a bar chart for one of the symbol currently, and this will be added a little bit more in the future, where you can see what is the pip range for the symbol during the week for each day, and it is average. So this bar chart pulls the data from the history, calculates for each day what is the average pip range, and shows it here. For the last 2 weeks I have concentrated only for this one, which is a currency strength meter. I would like to put it as MVP, which is minimum viable product, to show to the people, to the traders, to tell them that this one exists, and if they have anything they would like to have it, if they would like to share their feedback, they have the opportunity to do that just by clicking this button. So they will be redirected to the form, Google form, where they can put their ideas and their comments and the feedback about this current strength meter. You can see what is the current status about this one. We can see in the past it is pulling all the data from the database, but if you take a look here on the local version, which I currently have, I have added some modifications to this currency strength meter, and below that I have added one more, which is a bar chart for this one. So I have this one as a line chart, this one is a bar chart with the same data. Below that I have put additional, which is a correlation where you can select which of these symbols you can compare. So this is currently what is this is the price strength comparison, where the price is compared with the price from the previous day to the current day, and it shows you what is the percentage of the change of the currency. Below this one is the correlation between these two symbols, so you can see how the price moves. And below that you have also a drop-down menu where you can select which symbol you would like to show for the pip range, and currently it is EURUSD. So if you would like to change to any of these one, you can also change it and show it here on the chart. Now this is what I have done up to now. Below that it is one of the content I have copied from the website I am currently using as a template, but this will be changed in the future, and I will remove all of this and I will make another content which is related to the current status of the website. Now what I have done in the previous 2 weeks is that I have added here a drop-down menu, and I have added several time frames which you can select. For example, 4-hour time frame, click OK, and you will get the information here for the 4-hour time frame. So you can change which time frame you would like to show on the chart for the currency strength. Now there is also a second step I have wanted to do, and that is populate the data for each of the time frames. For example, for the daily I will have 5 records in a week, so I needed to wait more weeks until this is populated. For the monthly I have created this one, but monthly will not be available. I see I have made a mistake. This should be a weekly, not a monthly. So I wanted to show all the details that the currency strength meter can have and give opportunity for the traders to show this as a bar chart or the line chart. This bar chart is not the solution I want to have. I want to have a similar solution that has the website I'm currently watching, and that is currencystrengthmeter.org, where it has a bar chart with bars that is a green line, green columns with the white bars. Now for the last 2 weeks I have spent most of the time thinking about how to make the backend code for the part regarding the saving data inside the database regarding for each of the time frames, for the 1-hour time frame, for the 4-hour time frame, for the daily time frame, weekly time frame, and the monthly time frame. It was not very easy because I needed to think about how to code, how to make the calculation for each of the time frames, which should be correctly calculated for each day, for the 4-hour time frame, for the daily time frame, for all the time frames, which is a little bit messy because the code is pretty large, and I needed to think about how to implement that code and to use as much as possible templates for each of these time frames, so I do not repeat the same code. It was not easy. I did not find too much of the templates I can use to make the calculation for each of the time frames, but I have managed to make that. Current issue that I have is that I do not have data populated for the daily time frame, and for the weekly there is some kind of code issue I need to find out, and I need to make the tests. Now if I go here to the self.developer.com, you will see that there is a last report available link here. When you click on it, you will see a new website page where you can see a weekly report 24. I will put this video here, so you will have all the details available with a video that will be linked to the YouTube channel. But here you can see I have put the dates starting from the week 24. Now you can see on the 3rd of June I have an idea, make a request from the front end part for the different time frame for the currency strength. What I've done, I have added front end part with a drop down menu to select one for daily, weekly, and the monthly time frame, and send the data to the backend. I have added backend part to receive the variable and send the variable into necessary functions problem. There is no issues. Next, adding the part of the code to read the data from the database. So on the 3rd of June, I have added this one, which is a simple front-end part for the drop-down menu, where I have used a template from this one here. So it is a similar solution, but only with one with on only one drop-down menu, and I have sent these variables when they are selected. Click it with OK. I have sent this data to the backend. Then after that, on the 4th of June, I have solved. The idea is to solve the backend part to read the database data for the certain time frames. Select on the front end. I have added SQL code to read the database based on the date and hour. The data is pulled with the last 8 records for each symbol. The problem is here, I have database populated with the data from string on the 1 hour time frame file. I do not have data saved. Now I need to solve the issue how to save data for the different time frame, which means I need to add more tables inside the database. I'm thinking, should I add more tables inside the dates for each time frame, or I should make the calculation from the symbol database on request from the front end? That solution would be to have a variable already in memory which would calculate data for the basic request for each time frame. So the idea was, should I, when I call the API, should I save all the database, all the data inside the database for each of the time frames? For example, I'm saving all the data for 1 hour time frame. So each hour I save the data inside the database. Then after that, I make the calculation for the currency strength for the 1 hour time frame, and I save that in the separate table. After that, when I want to save the 4 hour time frame, how to do that? The issue is I didn't know how to make this one that should work properly. So I have found the idea to have 4 hour time frame calculated from the basic database, the main database, where I save all the details about the symbol, and every 4 hours, which is at noon, at 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, then at midnight, 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and so on and so on. So every 4 o'clock I read the database and make the calculation and save that inside the database for the strength. So when I click here 4 hour time frame, I'm reading a database table for the 4 hour. So the question was, should I save only the symbol, the main database that I'm saying from the API, and then whenever the user calls, I make the calculation from the main database for the 4 hour time frame for the daily. So here are the difference. Should I save all the data inside the database, inside the table for each of these time frames, or I should not save each time frame, but only to make calculation when it is called from the front end part? So this was a question, which is a better solution. So I have found on the internet it is depending. It is always depending on the case. But I found that there is a probability that I will lose lots of memory to make the calculation each time when the user calls these different time frames, instead of calling the database, which has already calculated all the details, and simply saving that inside the variable. The third solution was also, should I each hour or any different time frame, but I have decided for 1 hour time frame, should I every hour call the database on the backend and save the data for different time frames inside the variable? So whenever the user clicks different time frame here, it calls this variable without calling the database and populates this data, which is also faster. But there is also issue with the memory. That variable will use that, and also there is a specific task that should be done on the backend every hour to make that calculation. This is something that I will need to test later on when I will have more visitors and when I have the code ready, when I will make some kind of fine-tuning the code on the backend. So this is the current status. So let's see what was on the 5th of June. Add the code for saving data for different time frames to database. Problem, the issue I had were not correlated, mostly the idea how to save the data and when to save the data. Yeah, this was the issue. How to save the data? Should I save the data every hour? How to save the data for the 4 hour time frame, daily time frame, and how to make the calculations. On the 6th, I have added the code for the 1 hour calculation, create new database tables for other time frames. So I have decided to move on and create each table inside the database for different time frames. So I have added a table for 4 hour time frame, table for the daily, for the weekly, and for the monthly time frame. And then I have a problem creating a solution that will work 100%. when to use the data for the daily, weekly and the monthly, what is the best approach to start calculation, how to read precise date in the past based on the time frame needed. So this was not very easy because I needed to manipulate the data and also calculate what is the current day, what is the current hour, when I should read the data from the database based on the 4-hour time frame, for the daily time frame, weekly and the monthly. What would be the best way how to calculate what is the precise date in the past. So I have used a template I have used for the 1-hour time frame, which was much easier than it was for the 4-hour time frame because I am moving backwards, and whenever there is a change between days from the midnight to the day back, I needed to make another calculation to calculate what is the hour backwards from the midnight on the last day in the past. So this was not very easy, but I have managed to do that. I have started to create one step by step and see how it goes, test it and fix it. This is something I have done for now. You can see that currently I have a 1-hour and 4-hour time frame, but currently I do not have anything for the daily, which is not correct. I already have 1 week populating the database for each of the time frames, but I do not have anything for the daily. So there is one of the issues. I will see what happens. There is also probability that I could see this one here. No, currently not. I will see that and I will report you here inside self.developer reports on the daily basis. Now on the 7th of June, we can see I have added for the 4-hour time frame calculation. Then I have on the 10th of June added for the daily and the weekly. And on the 11th of June, I added code for daily and the weekly of strength, populate the data after the calculation has been done. Yeah, after I have created all the tables for different time frames, I needed to make the calculation for the strength and then populate the data here on the front end part. Currently, what we can see is that I have only for the 1-hour time frame and the 4-hour time frame. There was an issue that I had no data here populated in the descending order, starting from the last day and also the last record from the right side to the past with 8 records. I have limited to the 10 records for each of the symbol, so I do not have this kind of a large chart. This will be changed. I will see which is the best. I'm thinking to change this to the 24 records because I have 24 hours in a day, so it would be maybe nice to see this one. But maybe I will have an option to allow a user how much of these records he would like to have on the front end part. Here, the bar chart for the next step is to solve this issue. Why I do not have the daily time frame available. And after that, the next step is to solve this bar chart, which I would like to show it to be similar to the currency strength meter.org, to have a bar chart which will be much better on the appearance for the user, much useful. Currently, this one is not very useful because this is not very user friendly, and it's not very easy to read what is the current status, what is the most strongest currency currently between these 8 of these. Now inside the GitHub, self.developer, it is the last day was 11th of June. Currently it is 14th of June. In the last 2 days I have not worked too much on the backend code because I needed to populate the data for the daily, and I was looking also the solutions for the 4-hour time frame, solving the issue about this showing this descending order. And after that I have I did not make any changes on the GitHub. You will see that currently this week I have only worked on the 11th of June, and that the reason is because I was thinking about what could be the issue with the code, why the code did not work, why didn't populate all these data for the different time frames. The most easiest was for the 1-hour time frame, but for the 4-hour time frame was not very easy, and for the daily currently I have an issue, and there is probably I have an issue with the weekly. So I will see how this goes. That's why I did not populate anything after 11th of June here. There was no reports. So for the last 2 days I didn't work anything too much on the code. But here you can see also the progress on the GitHub. You can see that I'm currently coding during the week whenever I can in the morning, and some of these days have 1 or 2 or 3 here commits, but you can see how I'm progressing. Whenever there are blanks here during the day, this is the day when I was thinking about what could be the solution and in which way to move on. So I'm currently progressing. We can see when I have starting of this year, the first one on the end of January. Currently it is 14th of June, but I have started to code and learn in December. This is something I have not saved in on the GitHub because I did not have any GitHub accounts, and I was learning for several weeks, learning from the course on the Udemy, from the Angela Yu course about how to start web development. So it was taking several days and several weeks until I start to code, prepare the Visual Studio Code, and learned how to use the code and JavaScript on the front end and also on the back end. Well, this is something. I think this is all what I need to say. The next goal for the next 2 weeks is to build this one currency strength meter for different time frames, add the bar chart, and I think this will be it. And then I will start to move this website on the DigitalOcean droplet to allow the users and the visitors to send me a feedback, what they think about the solution, how this looks, is it good, or I need to add something, or I need to improve this one. So this will be the next step in the next 2 weeks. I do not know will I be able to do that because next week I am on a vacation, so I will probably not code anything on the website. But after the week after that, I will start moving to the next step, and that is finding the solution for these time frames and fixing this bar chart. Well, this is all for this weekly report. I am happy that already half a year has been passed with this report I am making. We can see that it is week 24 and I have made a progress. I have built a website currently available online. You can see it here, currentlyzer.com, where I analyze all the currency symbols. And here it is the local version where I have added more of these bar charts, and I will add more of these options available for the users. So I hope during this year, if I have made this kind of a progress during this year, I think the website will be available here with already built solution for the currency strength meter, at least for this one, which the user will be able to use with all the features that will be available. Yeah, I wanted to show you that there will be also an option for the user to select in the past different time frame he can read the data from the database. So he can go back in the past and make the test how the price has behaved in the past, so he can compare the currency strength meter with the correlation and also the price change strength, so he can compare the results to see is it possible to predict the price in which direction could go based on the currency strength meter. There are more features that I would like to add, but they come also how I move forward. They are coming to my mind, and I will record everything here, what I have done and also what is the idea. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to comment below the video, and see you next time. Happy coding!